Hi everyone, welcome to Lisa's Stamp Studio. This year is coming to a close and we're going to be kicking off the Occasions catalog in just a matter of a few days. And I've got a project for you using product from that new Occasions catalog called Bloom by Bloom. It is super easy and super cute, and we are going to showcase that gorgeous new designer series paper. If you're here visiting from YouTube, you'll be able to find the pictures, cutting dimensions, and supplies for today's project down in the link of this video description below. So let's head over to the stamp table and let's get started on today's project. Here's a close-up of the card we're going to be creating together today. This satin ribbon is absolutely gorgeous, and the designer series paper, so let me give you a close-up of those on what's included in the package. Here's the designer series paper we're going to be using on our card today. And like most of the designer series papers with Stampin' Up, they are double-sided. So here is the other side. You're going to notice that the other side is usually very generic, so it can be used throughout the year without a theme. And that is even consistent with our holiday papers. So here are the other patterns included in the Happiness Blooms designer series paper. Beautiful floral patterns. Very traditional flower colors. They're going to go with just a whole myriad of different projects. And then let me flip these over for you so you can see the other side. Isn't this one really pretty? And again, here's some of those neutral patterns that we talked about that you can use throughout the year. And you're going to notice too that a lot of these are going to be great even for masculine cards. I'm starting with a base of Whisper White cardstock. This measures 5.5 by 8.5, and I'm just going to fold it in half. I like to use my bone folder for that nice crisp edge. You're going to find all the cutting dimensions down in the link of this video description below if you're here visiting from YouTube. The designer series paper I pre-cut, that is the exact same size as the front of my card base. Now I'm going to go ahead and adhere this, and because it's going to cover the entire base, I want to be a little bit more generous. I don't want it to lift. I've had people ask me, how do you know to position it perfectly? Well, I always look at the crease first, because if I'm a little bit off, I can trim off the sides or the bottom, and then I'll just press that in place. We're going to be using the Bloom by Bloom stamp set, and you're going to be able to find this in the brand new upcoming Occasions catalog. This catalog will be introduced on January 3rd. If you don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and you're interested in Stampin' Up! Supplies, I would be more than happy to send you complimentary copies of the Occasions and or the annual catalog. Just leave me a comment below. Along with it, in January starts Stampin' Up's largest sale of the year, and it's called Celebration. The products in this brochure are completely free with a $50 product purchase before shipping and tax. For those of you with a larger wish list, there are even items that are free with a $100 purchase. I'll be happy to include that with the free catalogs as well. I've got a scrap piece of Whisper White cardstock here, and I've mounted the flower image from that stamp set. I've chosen to use the Calypso Coral ink pad. Stampin' Up! Doesn't leave anything to guesswork. All the colors that coordinate with the designer series papers are listed in the catalog and on our website. And I've got the Calypso Coral ink, and I'm going to go ahead and ink that up. Now I'm going to leave a little room here at the top because I know I'm going to want to add a greeting. Lots of firm, even pressure to press out your design. I'm switching over to the Call Me Clover ink pad, which is the green that's in our designer series paper. So we'll go ahead and we'll ink that up as well. And I know only part is going to fit. So I'm just going to work on the stem. With photopolymer stamps, it makes it really easy to see where the connection is going to be between the stem and the flower, because your stamp turns the color of the ink. And then I'm going to bring in the Night of Navy ink, which is here as well. And since this stamp set does not include any greetings, I'm going to call your attention to that. Lots of beautiful, bold images. I did choose to use the Itty Bitty Greetings. This is a two-piece stamp set. You can see there's lots of greetings here, both for the outside and the inside of your cards. Perfect for these images that you're going to punch or die cut because they are rather small. So I've got my Night of Navy ink here, and I've mounted the words "A Little Hello." Now I want to give you a little tip that might help some of you stampers. When you mount your clear mount stamps, sometimes you're going to notice that your sticker is just a little bit off. And I don't know about you, but that's a little frustrating for me if I go to stamp it and my words are crooked. So the tip is this: stamp it on your grid paper. So then you can see whether or not the label on your sticker is exactly straight, and mine does appear to be. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp that right over the top. If it is crooked, this allows you to give it a little bit of adjustment left or right so that your greeting is straight. I've got the 2 1/4 inch circle punch here, and I'm going to punch this out. Now you're going to be able to see, because of the depth of my paper, that's not going to reach. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this around, and I'm going to gauge that image somewhat in the center. I do want to layer for my circle, and we're going to die cut that using the Layering Circles framelits. I absolutely love these. You're going to get a cascade of sizes and of scallops. Great for making frames or for layering like we are in this case. I've got my Big Shot die cutting machine here, and I'm using my magnetic platform. This is just my platform of choice when I'm using my metal dies because it does help to hold them in place. I'm going to place a clear cutting mat on the bottom to protect that surface, and I'm grabbing a piece of Night of Navy scrap cardstock. I'm going to place my die here. This die measures 2 1/2 inches in circumference, which is going to be the perfect layer to that 2 1/4 inch circle punch. And then I'll go ahead and crank that through. The great thing about the Layering Circles dies is if you don't have the punch, you can certainly use both. I'm going to add adhesive to the back, and then I'm going to layer this on top of my circle. I'm going to leave myself a small margin, equally as possible, all the way around. Here is the base of our card, and here's that image. I'm going to flip that over, and I'm going to use several dimensionals. I like to create balance on this, knowing that it's going to go through the mail meter at the post office. I want it to come out even on the other side. I want to make sure that my card isn't all wobbly and distorted. Now I'm going to mount that over here to the far right side near the bottom. I want to make sure that my words are relatively straight across. And then I'm going to add that beautiful Calypso Coral Satin ribbon. This is also part of the Occasion Catalog products. And like all the Stampin' Up! Ribbons, they are double-sided, so it doesn't matter when you go to tie your bow that you don't have to fuss with trying to make sure that they're even. So I've just strung it through the inside of my card. This is about 22 inches of ribbon. I don't like to fight with small pieces, so I always make sure that I cut enough. And then I'm going to make a bow on this side. I'm going to put my finger here and hold it the very best that I can. A tip for you if you're struggling, stick a glue dot underneath here. And just to give you an idea on how that would work, let me get a glue dot out and my Take Your Pick pickup tool. Let me take that cap off. I've got my paper piercing attachment on the end. There are interchangeable tips for this, as well as this wonderful putty tip to help you pick up small pieces of cardstock and sequins. I absolutely love this tool. I think it's a must-have when you're stamping. So I'm going to take my glue dot and I'm just going to kind of roll it so it's kind of like a log. And then what I'm going to do is get that ready. I'm going to decide where this is going to go, and I'm going to stick this on the Designer Series paper. So I have an idea of placement, and then I'm going to pull this tautly, and I'm going to stick the center right to that glue dot. Look how it holds it in place and makes it so much easier for you. Now all I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and make my bow. I know my original card I put the bow on the other side, but you know what? I thought I'd change it up for you today just so you can see a couple different options. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull that. And then what you can do is you can adjust the loops. Put your finger here on the knot and then slightly pull on the ends. So you can make your loops smaller, and you will have to go back and tighten it up. And you're going to probably have to do that a couple times, especially with a satin ribbon. I'm grabbing my paper snips, and I'll give those little ends a haircut so they look nice and finished. And there you go, quick and easy. This is the card we created together today. This is the one I created before you joined me. I just changed the placement of the bow. This one's over the greeting, and this one is off to the side to give you a little bit more visual effect. Which one do you like better? I would love to know. Leave me a comment below. I would love for you to subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you don't miss any of the amazing projects I have designed coming up for you. Make sure that when you subscribe, you click the bell icon so you'll get notifications of when I do YouTube Live. Yes, I do those twice a month. Thanks so much for joining me, everyone. I look forward to seeing you next time. Have a great day.